Historic proportion. Joining us now on the phone, Democratic Congressman Ted Lieu. So, Congressman, you responded to the president's tweet today saying, and this is your tweet, this is obstruction of justice. President of the United States now admits that he knew Michael Flynn lied to the FBI, yet Trump tried to influence or stop the FBI investigation on Flynn. So you say obstruction of justice, and we're talking about there's just a day in between, the resignation of Flynn, and then the next day, it was February 14th, when the president met with Comey and said, let this go. So that's what you're calling attention to, and you say that underscores potential obstruction of justice?
Thank you, Fredricka. It absolutely is obstruction of justice. I'm a former prosecutor, and that statute is very broad. You just have to endeavor to influence or impede an investigation. And in this case, we know that Michael Flynn has pled guilty to lying to the FBI. We now know the president knew he lied to the FBI. And then when the president tried to get Comey to drop this investigation, that's classic obstruction of justice, and the American people watching it unfold before their very own eyes right now.
Wow. And then now former FBI Director James Comey, he's been rather loquacious lately, via tweet, Instagram, etc. And he is doing the same today. He responded to this latest development in the special counsel investigation and the Trump tweet. And Comey, who was fired, of course, by President Trump, he posted this on Instagram saying, "Beautiful Long Island Sound from Westport, Connecticut. To paraphrase the Buddha, three things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth." Is it your feeling that there is a chipping away in this investigation, not just by the Michael Flynn, guilty plea, but even the president through his tweets, through his history of his comments, that it is revealing far more about this overall investigation than perhaps even the Mueller team seems to be intimating?
Yes, we're seeing the unraveling of the mountain of lies that Donald Trump has been telling, not just his own staff, but the American people. He went publicly out to the press and said that everyone's treating Michael Flynn unfairly. He's a wonderful man, that this is a witch hunt. And now we know that those are all lies because the president knew Michael Flynn lied to the FBI. And why is that so important? It's important because in a democracy, one of the core foundations is respect for the rule of law, which means we need investigations to occur by law enforcement that are not influenced by politicians or anyone else. And that's exactly what Donald Trump has been trying to do in this case.
Even by way of the tweet from the president today, does this redirect or in any way kind of intensify a certain direction with the Mueller investigation? Did the president just reveal something or a new direction to the Mueller investigation in your view?
I think he just gave significant additional evidence to Special Counsel Mueller. We already know Mueller is interested in obstruction of justice because he's been interviewing people about the firing of James Comey. Only reason he would do that is because he thinks that some criminal conduct occurred there. So this tweet is additional evidence that the president engaged in obstruction of justice. And an interesting fact is that for Watergate, the very first article of impeachment was obstruction of justice, and Richard Nixon was brought down not for the underlying crime of burglary of the DNC, but for the cover-up.
And prior to the tweet today, what was your reaction to Michael Flynn's guilty plea? And that clearly, his cooperation with the Mueller investigation, I plead, I lied to the FBI, in exchange for information that the Mueller team already knows that they can get out of Flynn. How damning, potentially, might that information be?
I thought that was an incredibly significant development. You don't do a guilty plea and just do one charge if you think you're going to get information that's not that important. The only reason Robert Mueller would do this is because he knows that Michael Flynn has damning information on people above him. And the fact that he only charged him with one count, same thing he did with George Papadopoulos, by the way, who was also cooperating. Mueller's trying to send a signal that if you work with me, I will go light on you. But if you don't cooperate like Paul Manafort, then I'm going to charge you with everything under the sun. And I think Robert Mueller is sending very strong signals to the rest of the people who may be caught up in this web of criminal conduct that they need to start working with them.
Congressman Ted Lieu, thank you so much.
Thank you.